Hi, it's Christine again, and this is the second session in our summer tapestry class. And in the first session, I warped the loom. Now I'm getting ready to set it up for weaving. One of the things that I like to do is to use a piece of paper, and this is just 8.5 by 11. I'm going to fold it in half, and notice that I'm just going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to slip it behind the warp that is on the top and just let it sit there. What this paper does is it gets rid of anything in the background, and it's nice and bright, and it lets you see the warp threads. I think a little bit easier. If I'm an older person and my eyes have changed as I've gotten older, and so this just helps me see the warp better. This is absolutely optional. This is a shed stick. This happens to be a really beautifully handmade shed stick. If you don't have a shed stick, you can use something as simple as a popsicle stick. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pick up every other thread. I'm going to go over the first thread and under the next. I could do it the opposite. I could go under the first thread and over the next thread. At this point, it doesn't matter. But notice that I'm going over and under every other thread. I'm going to push my shed stick to the top, and that's where it's going to live. But this time, I'm going to turn it. And as I turn it, I'm going to put in another piece of paper that is my base for weaving. This is just a piece of, happens to be cardstock that I folded in half. I'm going to slip it in and drop it all the way to the bottom. I'm going to turn my shed stick down and push it to the top. And with these little looms, I am most comfortable using a needle. This is a big-eyed tapestry needle with a blunt tip. I'm going to fold this thread in half, and I'm ready to start weaving. Now I put this piece of paper in, and when we weave, of course, we do the opposite in each row. If I went over a thread, I go under it in the next row. So I'm going to go over this thread and under the next thread, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, doing the opposite of what I did with the paper. And the paper is just my base. So I'm going to make a little mountain or a little bubble with my comb, my tapestry comb. I'm going to beat that down. And that is my first pick of weft. Now this time, I can turn my shed stick, and I can come from the left, and I can use my shed stick for this shed. And this is the space where the weft threads are going to go through. Remember, when you weave, you have two sets of threads. You have the warp threads and you have the weft threads. And they intersect at right angles. I'm going to come back and do one more row here. And again, I'm going to do the opposite of the row I just put in. So I went under this first thread. This time I'm going over it. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And when we weave, we always want to remember that the thread or the yarn doesn't just go straight across. It goes over, under, over, under. So be sure to give it an extra length by bubbling, bringing it down, and then beating it down. And as we start weaving here, you're going to notice that this little textile that we're making, this tapestry, is going to be weft-faced. We're not going to see the warp. So we've put in 4 rows. And this last row I put in using my shed stick.